Okay, just want to go over a little bit about the curvature of the Earth and how the refraction of the glass in the sky actually warps our perception of the Earth, makes us think that we're living on a convex ball instead of living inside a concave encasement. So just to really quick here, this would be the shell of the Earth, which contains the entire universe. So this would be the celestial sphere. As I told you before, stars are very tiny. They're created by sonoluminescence. The sun and the moon, the stars, the planets, they're all very tiny. They're all inside the Earth. Earth is 8,000 miles wide, and it contains the entire universe. There's also a glass sky at 62 miles high, which, as I told you before, warps our perception. And actually, this is Mother Nature's trick, the ruse that she played on humanity, where actually it makes us think that we're living on the Earth instead of in the Earth. Okay, so this would be at 62 miles high, or 100 kilometers. 100 kilometers. I'll just make it 100 kilometers. So I've listed numerous examples of evidence that the fact that there is actually a glass sky, and you can check out my webpage for, I go into detail about all that stuff. But anyway, this is how it works basically, okay? You are standing in the Earth. So if I draw a little stick figure of you, the way we see the Earth, we do not see in a straight line. We are actually, what we think is straight is actually curving, okay? So now, what this glass sky does is it creates this false heaven, false dome-like heaven, basically. So let's see if I can draw a nice little sphere here. I'm going to draw you a false vault, basically. This is what it does. The glass actually creates an opposition and curvature. Did that come out dark enough? Where it makes us, like I told you before, it makes us think that the sun is actually rising, but it's not rising. It's actually sinking. So, like if we had the sun over here, okay, now this is just a false perception. So pretend that's not really there. So basically, this would be the glass Kármán line, and this area right here would be inner space. This is where the stars, not the stars, this is where the planets and the sun and the moon orbit. So we'll just call that inner space. This is where the space shuttle and the space station and the satellites orbit. They actually penetrate the glass. They actually either melt through or they crash through. So what's going on here is that the sun is orbiting the moon. The Earth is stationary. There's no spin to the Earth. Okay? Everything that moves is inside the Earth. The heavens revolve every 24 hours. Okay, so the sun, basically if you're standing here and you see the sun, it's moving around this way. Okay, so we'll draw the sun here, and it's moving that way. Okay? However, because the glass artifice creates this opposition and curvature, it's basically, it actually is a convex ceiling to the sky, but it warps it, it turns it in, it inverts it, it makes it into a dome or a vault. That's what we think the sky is. So basically, this is the real sun, and then this is the false perception of the sun. It's actually, it looks like it's rising. So this would be sunrise. It's actually sunset. Okay, so it's the opposite. So as the sun comes closer to us, it looks like it's actually getting smaller. Okay, that's the way it works. Okay, so sunrise to sunset is the actual, and then sunrise to sunset is the perception. It's a false perception. It has to do with the glass refracting due to glass. Okay, so the way our eye works, I told you before, our eyes are actually seeing on a curve now, okay? So basically, the way we look at the sun is actually inverted. So this is our line of sight, basically. Okay, I'm going to just draw the stick figure over here because I'm just showing you the orientation of the figure. So basically, he's looking at the sun, but you're looking at an inverted image of the sun. See, your head is over here. So it's flipped, basically. Another thing I wanted to talk about, too, is mirages, and how one thing that science doesn't really understand about the mirages is that you see a hull of a ship or the mast of a ship in the distance, and you only see the top portion of that ship, and then they conclude, well, the Earth is curving downward, it's convex. Well, no, that's not true, because what's happening is this warmer water here is creating an optical bulge, and this has to do with mirages. This is how it works. See, this can actually be corrected if you look through with a telescope. You won't see that bulge anymore because the depth of field is narrower, and you're focusing in the focal plane. It's smaller, so it's actually an optical illusion. So I just wanted to re-emphasize that, is that the glass sky creates a false perception. It creates a false perception of the heavens. And also, too, because our eyes are in a curve like that, and we see the sun like that. See, we're not hitting the sun at the horizon dead on like that. Therefore, it's making the sun squish like that. It's oblong like that. That's because we're hitting it at an angle. That's the reason why we see the sun and the moon squished at the horizon like that. It all has to do with the glass inverting the curvature, and the refraction involved with that, and the fact that we're not viewing it at a dead-on angle. We're viewing it off, like an acute angle, basically. However, when the sun starts getting closer to us, then we see the sun more circular. That's because we're seeing it at a more dead-on angle, basically. So that's what's happening. It's the glass. The glass. There is glass in the sky. NASA knows about this. All space agencies know about this. There's actually a literal ceiling, and there's also ice attached to the glass. That's where the mysterious megacriometeors are coming from, the ice chunks that nobody knows where they're coming from. Okay, that's all I want to talk about.